Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So, unfortunately my live streams that I tried earlier in the evening failed, so for those who did join in or tried to join in, I do apologize for all the technological issues. As of today, probably won't be doing any more live streams. The interaction with Streamlabs Mobile and my YouTube channel is essentially non-existent, and it's really frustrating, not for also for myself, but I'm sure for you as well, so I won't be wasting your time anymore in doing that. Now that being said, in tonight's episode of Should You Summon, we'll discuss the newest banners that featured the newest units. Now keep in mind that we do have that simultaneous release of the new collab, which is Octopath Traveler. Those units are all free and do not need to be summoned, so if you're new to the game, you can just join it, finish up to level chapter 13 of the main story, unlock that symphony, start playing through, and you'll eventually earn those as the most powerful units, free. In this case, these are the units we have to use are either paid stones, which is real money, or free stones, which is still summoning currency that you can earn through the game in these banners. So without any further ado, let's go right into it. Twin Destinies encounter is here. It's only here for five days, and so it guarantees 2 5-stars, either normal style or alter or parallel time layer units in this banner. So you can see that although Oboro and Sirius are both here, they only get 1 out of 3 awakening gauges, and so if you happen to hit it on this particular banner, you only get 1 out of 3 awakening gauges. You will need 3 out of 3 awakening gauges. This does not have the pickup bonus available in this banner. Now that being said, also take a look at the odds. 1.2% on average. That means 1 in 83 chance of getting any particular 5-star of the ones featured. So again, only normal styles and alters. The ASs and other ones are not featured, and you can see they are not uprated. You can still hit them on pulls 1 to 9, but you cannot hit them on pull number 1 to 8. You cannot hit them on pulls 9 or 10. The alters are actually even reduced harder, 0.8% each instead of 1.2%. So I'll say anywhere from 1 in 83 to 1 in 85. Pretty difficult to pull. Again, Porcelain Pixie is the newest alter, and that is available in this banner. So the real answer is, how much do you value 2 5-stars for the price of 1? If you're new to a game and you want to spend some money on it, this is a great way to bolster your team. I mean, the fact that you get 2 5-stars, which are the most powerful versions in the game, is definitely more powerful than, say, getting 1 generally. And so in that sense, definitely worth the value. Now, for veterans of the game who have most, if not all of the units, I would probably advise against it. Even if you're aiming for Oboro or Sirius, the odds are extremely low. You only get like 1.2%, and you're better off doing the Fateful that provide, anywhere from 10% or more, or even the free banner where you can summon on those as free stones. Not only that, this one does not have the pickup bonus, and so again, for veterans of the game, I would advise against it. If you're new to the game and you need a bunch of 5-stars, and let's be honest, you want more 5-stars, that's definitely a great way to do so. And this one is another, let's see, is this a new one? Curo series? I can't even remember. Yes, this is a new one. Note, again, even though this does feature all these units, this is a paid Fateful as well. So the first banner was also paid stones. This one also requires paid stones. On the 10th, it guarantees 1 of these. And so it's a little bit better than other ones where all the newest units are in here. Oboro, Sirius, Mufa, Ultra Daenerys. These are the ones that came out in the last little while, as well as some fan favorites, Yakumo and Ify, as well as Radius AS Ultimate Defense ×3, as well as Alter His Mina. The odds are as such, so divided equally essentially between the 4, 8, 12 units or so. And again, you only get awakening gauge times 1. Okay, so same thing, bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights are here, unfortunately. Other 5-stars are in the game are here as well, although you can pull those on 1 to 9. On pull 10, you'll guarantee 1 of the following units. Now, the same thing is applying from both the Twin Destinies versus this Curo series. the fact that you don't get an Awakening 3 out of 3 gauge filled up for Sirius or Oboro does reduce the value of this banner quite substantially, especially if you're aiming for Awakening those units specifically and getting a full powered Stellar Awakened unit that's level 100. That being said, this banner does provide a lot of value in the fact that essentially all these units are close to, if not top of their leagues in terms of the meta and being useful in the meta. Again, if you're newer to the game, no reason why you wouldn't pull on this banner if you're willing to pay some stones. If you're obviously a veteran and you have all these units, you won't be pulling anyways. And so these general summoning guides are more to give you some general advice on what to go for, especially if you're newer to the game and you have no idea of what you should spend either your free money or your paid money on these banners. Generally speaking, they're a great way to bolster your account if you're in the early to mid game. When you're at end game, you have to be a little bit more picky with how you pull. And this is another banner, same thing, paid banner. One of two of the units are here. Guarantees either Flamelopus or Tsubame AS as 50-50 on the 10th pull. Pulls 1 to 9 will again include very low odds, all spread out, of Oboro, Sirius, and some of the other units like Valette and LCL and so forth. And same thing, bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights are here. This one I would avoid. Flamelopus used to be really, really good, and she's still quite good. AS Tsubame is even older than that and used to be quite meta as well. I would argue that both of those probably don't see as much play as they used to, being that water teams are mostly physical water slash teams powered by either Alcil, ES Filmina, Ultra Daenerys, Ultra Ilulu. I can list all of those out there. Ultra Hismina. And Earth Blunt is not really a thing right now. I don't think Earth Blunt has been used by me for over a year now because it's just not powerful enough to really keep up with anything at all. And so, especially given this is a paid Fateful, I would advise to not summon on this one at all. Now, if it was a free one, that is using 1,000 free stones, I can still argue you're getting a guaranteed 5-star with free stones, maybe worthwhile pulling. But for this one, paid, definitely not. Okay, and then we come to the Thundercrack one. So this one doesn't even guarantee the newest unit. It actually is to bolster your Thunder teams if you already need bolstering. So it does feature uprated of both AS Orlea, Valette, Silver Striker, as well as ES Miyu. 10% times 4, which is 40%, which means you are left with 60% not getting the unit, and you'll get a random 5-star instead. Again, Oboro and Sirius are here. But remember, same thing applies to the other banners. You do not get a fully awakened unit, only 1 out of 3. And the chances of those are extremely low since they're not featured right up. This one is another one where I would have, again, if you're really new to the game and you don't have a Thunder team, this one could be worthwhile pulling. The thing is, Valette and AS Orlea just came out. I'm not sure that you wouldn't have hit one, if not both of them, if you are playing for the last 2 months. Now, again, if you're super brand new to the game, I'm not even sure that you need a Thunder team at this point. But if you are a veteran of the game, or if you've been playing for the last few months, you should have summoned on Valette, especially since I did recommend you going for Valette. And AS Orlea is also a very nice side unit for that team, if not Orlea normal style. ES Miyu actually can be grinded with over time when you play, because you do get her as a 3.5 and a 4-star, and if you play for a number of months, you will have the materials required to side grade her to the ES version. So even if you're free to play, like myself, you can grind that out. I would say it might take 3 to 6 months on average. If you're new to the game, your resources will be a little bit tighter. Obviously, it'll take a little bit longer, but for us in the end game, it comes fairly steadily, and so I would recommend not summoning on that. Silver Striker is more of an afterthought. She can power your Thunder AF. However, outside AF does extremely low damage, and Thunder, as a general rule, I find that their AFs are quite a bit more powerful in terms of stocking up the combo meter and things like that. However, outside AF, their raw damage actually pales in comparison to other elemental teams. So bear that in mind. So to make a long story short, if you don't have Valette or Orlea, this is a decent banner to summon for. But if you have one or both of those, you definitely would pass because Silver Striker offers little value, and ESMU, unless you really need to speed up her time limit coming home for you, side grading is essentially the way to go and therefore adds no additional value, especially if you're a light spender or free to play only. Okay, so this one's interesting. Oboro is here. This is part of the release from Japan, but obviously we got it earlier. Well, we got it now in combination with the the simultaneous collab. So anyways, this is the paid version. This allows you 3 times max Fateful on Oboro. This one does have the pickup bonus. So again, in order to awaken a unit completely, and for only a few of the newest units out there can be awakened and leveled up to a level 100, Oboro is one of them, Sirius is the other. Aldo is our first free one, and the 3 new units that you get from this collab will also be able to be Stellar Awakened. If you pull in this banner and you hit an Oboro 5-star, you get a 3 out of 3 gauge fully powered up and ready to go. You don't need to pull additional copies, unlike some of the other banners out there. So this one actually does add some value for you, especially if you're chasing down Oboro. If you are going for a Stellar Awakened Oboro specifically, I would recommend only spending money, as in paid stones, on this banner, not the other few banners we mentioned earlier. Okay, so again, remember that pickup bonuses are at the dev's whim. If it mentions it, you can take advantage of it. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. But if you want to get it, pickup bonus banners, which is usually the newest releases, are the way to go. Off bannering it is a lot more difficult to 3 out of 3 because you'll need to pull 3 dupes in order to get 3 5-star dupes, by the way, in order to fully unlock and awaken a unit. A 4.5 hours, as a reminder, does not give you any charge towards that awakening bar. And finally, Oboro as well for free units, free players like myself, is also has the awakening gauge. 3 out of 3 if you pull on this one. So even if you're a free player, if you happen to hit the 5-star, which is, by the way, 0.8% only, of course, free banners are not as favorable as paid banners, but it still gives you a good, decent chance. I mean, 0.8% is all right. It's the same rate as it always has been for another Eden, just in case you're new to the game. Also, these banners don't have some of the newest units in there. So it usually doesn't have units that are either currently in other banners or too new. So in the case of Sirius will not be here. I believe Alter or Porcelain Pixie Miufa should not be in here either. So other than that, all the other units should be in here. El Seal and Aoife, Yakumo, Monoka, Valette. I think Valette's in here. Let's take a look. Valette is not in here, I guess. Okay, so Valette's not in here. Okay. So those were the 2 newest units in there. Okay, so how about Oboro? What do I think about Oboro? And more importantly, someone did ask me on the live stream, Will, are you still protesting the new Stellar Awakened system? My answer to that right off the bat is no, I am not actively protesting anymore. My stance was made when I first reviewed Sirius and just kind of the mechanics behind that. And after that, you know what? The game's going to the game. I'll play it as much as I can and enjoy it as much as I can, and understand that as a free player, I'm not going to have every unit fully powered up. I'll have to be a lot more careful with how I manage resources, and understand that not every unit's going to be fully unlocked for me. And so if you're free to play like myself, as long as you still enjoy the story, which we clearly can enjoy the collab, as well as the overall system. I mean, it's still very early in the system's lifetime, and so hopefully it gets better. As long as you enjoy the story, then the gacha is just a side mechanic, and it's only really affecting a couple units. But I will still state this, what I stated earlier on. It is not a good progression for WFS this way. It makes it a lot harder for players, even paid players, to get everything. And it has devalued some of your older units somewhat, since the new standard essentially would be level 100 Stellar Awakening units instead of units a few months ago which don't have Stellar Awakening abilities. Now that being said, what does Oboro bring to the table? Well, what he brings is another Thunder Zone setter, except you don't have to press a button. If you have him and one other, aka 2 or even 3 Thunder units in the front line, he'll start Thunder Zone right off the bat. If he has a full team of 4 Thunder units, including himself, you'll have a awakened Thunder Zone right off the bat. So very similar to El Seal and other unit, or for example, Alter Lulu, Alter Daenerys. There's a lot of units recently where if you have a full team, either elemental or whatnot, it will power you up right at that before you even do a move. So you can still do a 1-turn large AF. You don't have to waste 1 move to activate the Awakened Thunder Zone, and so that's very, very powerful. This unit has an ability to stack sparks on the enemy, and at the battle start, when he's in the front line, he stacks 10 sparks. When you hit him, the enemies, each hit from anybody, I believe, charges that stack by 1. So when you get to 50, he can actually use his awakened, Stellar Awakened move to remove 50 stacks from that one enemy, because these are single target enemy attacks, and then increase his Raijin mode, basically his own version of Lunatic. Each mode can go from level 1, level 2 to level 3 if you get that far. And the thing is, if you have a Stellar Awakened one, you do a large 1-turn AF, you should be able to use his Stellar Awakened move, Rising Beat, to consume all those 50 stacks and start Raijin mode 1. And then I believe that if you get it at it also checks for the stacks at, I guess start of turn the next turn. If there's another enemy with 50 of these sparks stacked, then it'll Raijin mode again. So if there's more than one enemy, for example, you can Raijin, you can attack a whole bunch with your entire Thunder team, which hits in like tons of multi-hit hits, and then you'll Raijin mode using Rising Beat to consume it, and then if there's still 50 stacks either on a second enemy, or if you have a large enough AF to stack another 50 stacks, at the beginning of next turn you'll get level 2. And so, pretty powerful. It'll give him on level 2, power in and speed plus 50 stack wise. It also, each Raijin mode automatically gives the unit Link, which is basically, it'll have a Thunder Magic add-on attack for each attacking move. So it'll hit and hit and hit again, which is very, very nice. It charges the AF a little bit, but mainly it's additional attacks, not to mention obviously the Stellar Awakened unit does apply his most powerful move, attack times 2, with higher level modifiers. Not only that, with his Stellar Awakened skills, if you used AF, which you're always going to do on turn 1, I don't know why, it will change any enemy from neutral to make it weakness of Thunder for 1 turn. And so if that's the case, you apply Exposed Thunder, which is basically Thunder weakness for 1 turn. The next turn, it'll still have weakness to Thunder, and you can beat the crap out of it either after the AF or next turn after the HP stopper. So if you have end of turn attacks or whatnot, then you're going to do a ton of damage. So basically, he is going to allow your team to do a lot more Thunder damage against the enemy. He himself can do a large amount of DPS. He has a slash res down 30 attack that also can stack up to 60. Slash res down, which he's a slash unit. And his main DPS does guarantee crit, which is nice. Single target times 3 XL. And does rely on Awakened Thunder Zone, by the way. So cannot be as powerful outside Awakened Thunder Zone. One keeps in mind. He also has mods to boost his own power into speed with boosts and things like that. However, again, like I said before, he is a very selfish unit, only gives buffs to himself, other than applying slash res down and Thunder exposed weakness to the enemies. I mean, in terms of helping like an RCF, he does not boost everyone's stats, only himself mainly. So, should you summon? Well, I guess it depends on how powerful your Thunder team is. Because how I look at it like this is, you know, when we analyze a new unit, we have to say, where is he going to fit on the front line? And if he's on the back line, there's no point having him, right? On the front line, you're going to have Valette for sure, because Valette is the only unit right now that can not only awaken Thunder Zone, which everyone can do, she gives amped to the whole another awakened, I guess, to the awakened Thunder Zone, which will give up to 99 stacks based on number of hits. And 99 stacks will allow you to do 99% extra Thunder type damage. No other Thunder unit can do that. And so as a premier Thunder Zone setter, you're always going to have Valette on your team if you want maximum Thunder damage because you have no replacement for that mechanic. Not only that, Valette does come with guns, which applies Thunder Res down among other awesome boosts as a sidekick, or you can substitute other sidekicks for your team. Next in line, you probably have Orlea or AS Orlea. She's still the only unit that can give one hold ground, good hold ground, not the crappy hold ground. What I mean by that is you don't have to be at full HP for hold ground to take action when you have Orlea giving it. Whereas for hold ground Grasta, for example, you have to be at full HP in order to tank a hit and not die. So something to keep in mind, Orlea's hold ground to the whole front line and back when she's in the front line is unsurpassed. And not only that, she still gives 50-50-50 triple debuff, power, instant speed. Very, very useful in survivability. She can give type shields, the normal style. She can give combo rate and so on and so forth. The other one can do other cool mechanics as well. So those two are going to be in your front line for sure. If you want offensive support, you're probably going to run RCF or AS Nakoko as your third because they can modify to any elemental zone. And therefore, your fourth DPS, are you going to choose Oboro, which requires Awakened Thunder Zone? Or are you going to choose someone like Victor AS? Probably a lower ceiling in terms of main DPS. However, can maintain damage even outside Awakened Thunder Zone. So there's that. Only requires 15 hits the turn before, which you can always get that on the first turn AF anyways, now that that's a mechanics there. It also does rely on Lunatic, but let's be honest, most fights should be short, and if you really need to reactivate Lunatic, there are ways to do that as well, or extend it with certain types of Grasta. So I really don't see him replacing... I guess you can replace Victor AS as your main DPS. Keep in mind, if you use AS Nakoko, your fourth unit doesn't even have to be a Thunder unit, right? AS Nakoko can change everyone, including enemies, elemental attacks to the zone active. So, in summary, he is definitely an upgrade to existing Thunder team DPS. But you have to remember, stones are limited and hard to come by. Are you planning to use this as an upgrade? Or if your Thunder team's doing enough damage, then you probably can pass on this and move on to further units. Also keep in mind, ESMU, which is a free unit, well, not free, but you can grind it out like I mentioned earlier, has enough value as barrier piercing that you can use her as your main DPS as a fourth unit too. So something to keep in mind. I believe that, I think, Oboro does have barrier pierce, so keep that in mind. So, again, I'm not protesting by, not summoning on this banner, but you can decide for yourself. Are you going to pull because you like the unit, he's Hispano? Are you going to pass on this banner because you're protesting the Stellar Awaken system? Or are you going to pass on this banner because you don't have him in your room for upgrading your Thunder Zone team? So, something to keep in mind. Anyways, just a quick reminder for those who are new to the game, the Ways We Walk banner is still here. This is a free banner. You only need 1,000 stones, and you can pull any of these 10 units featured on the 10th pull, guaranteed. So one of the few free banners that guarantees a 5-star. Most of these are relatively decent. Some of them are a little bit older, but you're getting a guaranteed 5-star. So if you're new to the game, I would highly recommend pulling on this. A free 5-star is a free 5-star. Okay, that's nothing else to say about that. That is a great banner to pull on if you're new to the game. And speaking about another banner that's new to the game, the Brilliant Encounter is also one that you can pull on. This one doesn't guarantee a 5-star, however, it does guarantee a unit that can side grade to a 5-star. So again, these banners don't come very often, a few times a year. If you're new to the game, definitely a must summon. It'll help you round out your team because remember, even if you pull a 4.5, another Eden specific upgrading system allows you to eventually get the unit at full power even if you get a lesser version of the unit. As long as you get a version of the unit, you can use that to unlock all versions of the unit over time. Sometimes it's going to take a lot longer, especially with Stellar Awakened, but most of the time it doesn't take more than a few months, so not bad at all. Alright, so let me know in the comments below what you think about the banners. Have you already pulled? Are you going to pull? What do you think about the, new Symphony. I'm going to be playing some more tonight, hoping to get at least one chapter in. And like I said, I know that Japan's also racing through this because there aren't any guides or Ultima or other things. I think hopefully my videos will show anyone who needs help some of the missing things or hidden things if I come across those as well. Anyways, thanks for watching, and time to get back to the Symphony offline.